Hello and welcome to Noita. Today I'm going to be giving you a live rundown of what this game's about, some tips that are going to help you out along the way in the magical world of Noita. And basically I'm going to be explaining absolutely everything, what I'm doing, what spells are, etc, etc. So do bear with me, this is live on Twitch at the minute, so any stumbling and stuff that's going to be not pertinent will be cut out. So yeah, bear with me. And for those joining me, thank you for joining me right now on our first run luck. Normally goes quite well for us. So Noita, aim of the game, get the wands, get the flasks, and get down to the bottom of each biome that leads you on to the next level. So right away, this will be interesting for new players, you'll be coming across these little things, these pools with wands in. Now you might think, oh, that's interesting. But these are trap pools, and you don't want to be trifling with them too much. This is polyjuice that will turn us into a sheep, or no, sorry, chaotic polyjuice, which turns us into a random enemy, or a random creature. It isn't just enemies. So we're going to have to wait for this to wear off. So, as a new player, I would advise, for the most part, if it's something that you can't touch or drain or drink, bomb it away, drain it out, because remember this game is a fluid-based game, like the old the old falling powder game, the falling sand game. So we're going to wait for this to drop, and we're going to go and see what this wand is. Name of the game, your first run on this first biome in the mines, is to grab as many wands as you can, because there are some really, super OP wands, and I've just realised, thanks to that leaking polyjuice, we have got a rather tough enemy over there. He will eventually change back, so we're going to ignore him. So we've destroyed the trap. If it's in a pool, if it's on something like that, just be careful, because sometimes it can be acid. It could be water, which would electrocute if you took the wand, so buyer beware, so to speak. There are lots of environment stuff around in the game, so you can use F to kick. Lanterns you can kick with great difficulty with the F key there. Explosives can be detonated with your basic wand, or any wand for the most part. I don't think in my 90 hours with this game that wands haven't destroyed projectiles. And just, I would advise you, on your first run, on the first biome, kill the little enemies, because most enemies are easy. You get these enemies here, for example, that throw TNT. They can be quite dicey. The TNT doesn't do that much damage, in all honesty. Oh, grab the gold. Enemies drop gold, by the way, and they drop double gold if you kill them with a falling crate, falling mine shaft, falling mine cart. Any environment damage you get double gold for. Oh, careful now. So yeah, a good way to make extra money if you can be coy. Use your cunning to best the enemy. So I'm just taking my time on the first biome, clearing the way, clearing the fog of war. Ah, interesting. We have a fire mage, probably the toughest enemy on the first level. We're going to be ever so careful. Now I could throw my water flask at him, which, by the way, this might date the video. I'm currently rocking the beta version of this game, which does include a water flask from the start, which is very handy. I'm not going to explain why just yet, but we're going to keep that. Don't use the water flask on the fire mage. These guys, if you do douse them in water, if you can get them into a pool, they can die, or they will die, sorry. Whoa, shotgun enemy. These are very deadly. Case in point. So here we are. Now this could be real interesting. What I'm going to do, I'm going to equip my flask and hold down the right mouse. This will pour the liquid. And if you look in the bottom left right now, you'll see a little bit of grey text that tells you how full that is. Now I'm going to anticipate the fire mage coming to us. I don't know if he's aware. See, there's water below him, so I'm going to try and... Yes. Ooh, into the projectile there. Foolish. There we go. If you've got water around, excellent. That was very easy for me. I could have thrown my water flask. I'm not going to, but when you throw flasks, they explode and they produce their liquid. If it's lava, obviously it's dangerous. If it's acid, it will burn through if you throw an acid flask. These guys are acid guys. They shoot acid which burns through the level, including the temple at the end. So be careful. Be careful of their acid, because if you get acid on the temple, which is at the end of the level, you will anger the gods, which spawns a kind of almost indestructible enemy. So be careful. We'll get to that. And yeah, I'm just clearing the first biome, just running through, having fun. A good tip, folks. You can see above my head, that is our stain, or our buff, whatever you want to call it. Now, again, with the beta version, it shows you your percentage of your buff. Currently, I am 44% wet, or stained, covered, doused, whatever you want to call it. Now, being doused in water permits you a bit of fire resistance. Look, I'm hovering over the water, it's going down. That's very handy for traversing through flames, which you're going to be doing often, quite frankly. So just bear that in mind, be aware of your buffs. Enemies, ooh, the name of the game with Biome 1 is to kill what you can as much as you can, look for the ones, and proceed safely, because a good run on Biome 1 really sets up your whole game. This is a roguelike, so if you die you lose everything, and we're doing it all from the start, so caution, it depends on your play style. Sometimes being aggressive can be good. Oh, hello folks, we have just potentially got one of the best wands on this biome. If you see this gold wand with the little ring in the middle, sometimes that can have a very, very powerful projectile on for early goings, so yeah, we're going to grab that. It's got a firebolt at the minute, which isn't too useful. Firebolt is a very okay spell. It's, in my opinion, more used for destroying wood. And hello, Passy, by the way. The stream is so chill, I feel like I'm listening to Bob Ross play video games. Yeah, hello, folks. So yeah, just mosey on down. You'll be noticing when you go through the game, there's liquid on the floor. Now, again, beware, because these have certain effects. So this is blood from dead enemies. Blood gives you critical chance. Bloody clothes protects you from fire, so it also acts as a fire retardant. You sense an increased chance of attaining critical hits, so very worthwhile to perhaps have a blood flask on you, not only for dousing fire and tox, but also increasing your critical chance. Crits mean more damage chance. I've also got my damage numbers, whoa, enabled on my options so I can see the damage I do. Hello Jetty, hello mate, do bear with me while I do some teaching here. Welcome all. Oh, I'm on fire. So, right, we're on fire. To douse fire, you need to go into a submergible lake. You can use your water flask, you can self-douse, but from my experience, it doesn't douse fire very well. You really need to get to a liquid of any sort, even toxic sludge. Fire can kill you if you've got a dot of damage over time, dot. We're going to call them dots. So if you're being dotted by fire, it will kill you, but being dotted by toxic sludge, which is green, will not kill you. That will take you down to about 10 health. So if you're on fire, you're low health, and there is toxic sludge, just sludge yourself. You'll be all the more better for it. So fire, because I've got the water thing above my head, I'm fine. I'm going to crit myself with blood juice on the floor. An enemy has got a wand here. Enemies can pick up wands. If you... do excuse me. Those projectiles here on this wand are some of the best. So the next level, we're on for a good time. So great choice of random seed. All of the seeds in Noita are random, different wands, different enemies. All random, so we're on for a good time. So, let me just give you a very, very brief rundown of all of these stats. So the basic wand is very good. It's got low cast delay, which means it's how quickly the spell shoots out of the wand. Some spells add cast delay, so we'll get to that. Recharge time is the amount of time after all spells have been cast. So for example, let me show you. Our default wand has 2 spells. That's it. you'll notice in the top right a little backwards arrow. That's the recharge arrow. So the longer the recharge time, the longer it would take between shots, effectively. So a lot of the ones on Biome 1 here are very quick. Some of them are very slow. Some of them are like, who invented this? It's poo. So we are going to pick this up because this has got Bouncing Burst on, which is a very, very almost OP spell to get in level 1. Because I've got 2 wands, I'm going to take that. Now, I'm going to bring up this screen. By the way, when you press E to pick up a wand, that pauses the game. This screen doesn't pause the game. So if you can find a wand and you want to pause, have a breather, because the game is fast. Hello, Cheese, by the way. I'm doing some teaching at the moment. How are you? Cast delay is basically how fast the burst is in rounds per minute, and recharge time is how fast you can drop the mag and put a new one in. Yeah, nicely put by Passy there, here live on Twitch. So, and again, going back to the stats here real quick, we've got mana max. Each spell has a mana drain. Obviously, earlier spells drain less. Fine. Bigger spells take up a lot. So if it's, let's say for example, we had a spell that used 160 mana like this wand here, and the mana recharge was, let's say, 10, which some wands can be, that's going to take a long time to recharge. So there's, we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go going forward. We'll explain it on the fly. Between each biome, there is a safe zone called the temple. We will come to that, and that's where we will wand comp basically. And hello, Kifay Yetsimza. Whoa. Hello, Kif. Welcome. I'm doing some teaching at the moment. Do bear with me. Good to have you here. So we've got our basic wand. We've got a bomb wand, which is good for clearing stuff. This one, let's check it out. This is very good. These bouncing bursts are tremendous. They bounce. They can damage enemies from afar, around corners. The recharge time, you can see here, what is the recharge time on this? So that is 0.43. Doesn't sound like a lot, but under duress, just that little gap could cost you your life. So ideally, I'm going to be placing, when we get to the temple, because you can only edit wands in the temple, or, now not to get too far ahead of ourselves, we can get a perk called Edit Wands Anywhere. So we could do it, if we get that in the next temple, our whole run we can edit wands anywhere. I hope you're taking notes. So anyway, all good for now. A very fair wand we've got here. Whoops, he says, blowing himself up. So I'm going to drag with left mouse, because me personally, I like to have my main DPS on 1. I use my number keys to scroll through the weapons. Wands, sorry. You could call them weapons. They are weapons. So very good. Very good. Ah, oh yikes. I've chaotic polymorphed myself. Oh, that is not good. FYI, when you chaotic poly, if the enemy has a weapon, you can use it for the most part. Now, welcome to Biome 1. These are what I call the ooze boys. These shoot toxic sludge balls at you. They are slow, but they're not hard to dodge, but I always find myself walking into them. Remember to grab the gold. That's a famous thing that I do. Forgetting the gold. Always pick up dropped gold. Brown liquid is oil, which makes you more flammable, so watch out. Thank you for the follow, Anubis. Whoa. Oh, no, case in point. This is very bad. Polyjuice can be used to douse yourself. Chaotic polyjuice. Remember, chaotic polyjuice. Polymorphine, sorry. I call it polyjuice. I do apologise. Can turn you into an enemy that can't survive. Basically like a fish. Something that can't survive water, because liquid is water. If you turn into like a magma fly, you'll instantly die the moment you touch it. So, very careful. There are lots of creatures that you can turn into, but it gets riskier the further you go into your run. If you want to gamble, I mean, there is a level in this game full of soldiers, basically. I have polymorphed and snuck through the base as a soldier. It's very cool. There are many ways to skin a cat in this game. So the name of the game with Biome 1, Just get through it, grab gold, try not to die, make sure your water flask is topped up for dousing toxic sludge. And remember, toxic sludge as well can be poured on the ground to negate toxic sludge. So water on the floor. I think I bungled that syntax there, but there's a little bit of toxic sludge and you can pour water onto the floor to negate it, so you won't get it on your character, you won't be stained. So there's a lot of trash mobs around. I can be very safe here for the most part. Grab gold. I like to do a lot of pre-firing for Rainbow Six Siege players and Counter-Strike players. I'm sure you'll be at home here. So here is the portal that will take us on to the first temple, onto the second level. But, I mean, we've got some good money, we're low on health, and some great wands. So I'm tempted to go through. I've got my favourite gold wand that I'm going to retrofit, but we'll get to that momentarily. Right, and this is the temple where we get to recharge our health and recharge our spells, such as bombs. Our limited use spells will be recharged. And this is the wand shop. Now, there's a 50-50 chance of these shops being either wands or spells. Me personally, because I find a lot of wands around the level, I prefer the spell shops, but for now, this is all we've got. There's always a half price off fella here, so... Oh, I love this game. This wand is half price and has my favourite dangerous projectile. And I'm going to look at the stats here. Cast delay is 7, slow recharge, fair mana, fair recharge speed for mana, 2 capacity. So not that great, but think of buying wands you don't like as ripping the spells off. Ripping the spells off, because when you buy wands, let's say for instance we bought that wand and it appeared on our number 4 slot here. We could just drag them into our spell book and we can just get rid of the wand we purchased. So bear that in mind. It might be a crap wand, but the spells might be fantastic. Like what I'm doing now, I'm taking the bouncing orbs out of wand 1 into my wand 4, the gold wand, the famous gold wand from Biome 1. And now this should be very good. Right. Now that's the recharge time. It's still very good for a first wand. That's going to do us tremendously. It's got 8 spread, which is why it's shotgunning a bit. I don't know how RNG wands are in this game, because I know I've seen identical stats. I think they're set rather than completely random. So there's free cast delay, which means it's almost instant. Recharge time is almost half a second. And a very fair sustain. So if I hold this down, if you look at the blue bar in the right, I can hold this down and it can pretty much self-sustain. I'm going to have to stand here a long ass time to run this down. I've seen a trick, pull the first shot in the simple bomb staff. Yes, and I was just moving on to that actually. If you've had a poor run on Biome 1, you haven't found wands, or you found wands that are crap and they've only got firebolt and bomb on, you're going to need a DPS wand just to take on enemies. So if you've had a very poor run of luck, this is what you can do. Your bomb wand, take off the bomb, so there's nothing on there, drag on your spark bolt, and you might be thinking, hang on, what is this? But this is a very good emergency DPS wand. Not too bad, eh? Not too bad. But the only downside with this is, as good as it is, the mana recharge is a little slow. So you're either going to have to risk it taking on enemies, or you're going to have to find a place to stay and let that mana regen. So your mileage may vary, but it's a good tip I see a lot of players not knowing about. So, and remember our water flask? To fill up your flasks, because when you're dousing yourself, when you're trying to save your life, you're going to be using it up. We've got 73%. Now every temple has these 2 water pools. For the most part, most pools in the game are deep, but sometimes they might be about sort of chest height. You'll notice that you can raise your flask. If you want to get as much water as you can in your flask, watch the little hand. Have the flask holding down like this. That should get as much as you can from the pool. So always top up your flasks. In actual fact, I've got another empty flask here, which I'm going to fill up as well. So just watch your O2, by the way. You'll notice when it's full, either by the liquid stops moving, or if you roll your mouse wheel over your flasks at the top, you see the little yellow, you'll get a little dialogue in the bottom left, and that will let you know. That will let you know how much is full. So good stuff. So we've got plenty of water, plenty of good stuff there. And yeah, oh, you guys are in for some luck with this run. Can I afford it? I can, right. I love this game so much. The RNG is just so lucky. What am I going to do? I'm going to forgo. This is how you replace wands. I'm going to press E to purchase, so to speak, on this wand edit screen. I'm going to click here to replace. Now what I'm going to do, this is a chainsaw which is drastically super OP for having in Biome 2. So I'm going to plop that onto that bomb wand, the emergency DPS wand, bomb wand, whatever you want to call it, this little Ghostbusters gun. Now this is a chainsaw that lets you dig through the ground. To get this for this second level, I know I keep saying it, is tremendously overpowered, because we can dig through the ground and have some good stuff, get the gold. Right, so we are on for a tremendous bit of luck here. We've got a great DPS wand. I may even just put my basic sparks into that wand for emergency range, emergency sniping, because this is quite shotgunny. A very good shotgun. And let me see the stats of wand 4. In actual fact, let me press E on the dropped wand, because you can do some compares. I'm still a little bit confused with the green and red. So this is the wand we're picking up. So if you hover over one of your existing wands, the wand that you're hovering over, it will show you the worst numbers. So our new wand at the top has got better cast, better recharge, better mana, better capacity, less mana, and worse spread. So in my humble opinion, I would keep this wand. This could be saved for more bigger spells, like, for instance, Nuke. But I'm more of a DPS kind of guy, in my humble opinion. So, again, Noita's a great game that you can do it by yourself. You can play your own way. And sorry, I've just neglected to see this wand here, number 4, it's only got 2 capacities, so... Nuke is a lot of DPS, yes it is. It sure is. But for now, for learning purposes, I'm going to keep this wand on the floor. So we're going to replace 4. That flops out the wand, chucks it on the floor. And I believe I'm going to take... Oh, and of course I've forgotten the most important thing here. We've got 2 wands here. It might be a little bit early to mention this, but I'm going to very quickly. You'll see shuffle here. Shuffle means it does the order of the spells. So 5 bouncing things here means this will cast 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 4. There's no order. When we get deeper into the game, we're going to be getting more special spells. And for those special ones, we will need ideally a no shuffle wand. These wands do the spells in order. So for learning purposes, number 3 is a non-shuffle wand that will do 2 sparks and then a firebolt. Get it? Good. So moving on. So for now, I am going to take bomb because there are a lot of crevices in Biome 2 where you're going to need bombs just to break through a little bit of terrain. I mean, technically speaking, I don't need it because I've got chainsaws, sorry. So in actual fact, I'm going to take firebolt. Yes, I will. A lot of time is spent on this screen On my streams, how long have we spent on these screens? 30 minutes, 20 minutes. We've entered the level and we've just been killed. It's the way it goes. And now it's time for the perks. What have we got? Oh. No. My favourite perk is here. And I'm going to explain to you what these are. I don't think I should take Glass Cannon. Everyone's laughing. It's my favourite perk. It's a dangerous perk. I think I'm going to have to, aren't I? Glass Cannon is super mega powerful. It makes your spells 5 times stronger. It makes your explosion radius 5 times stronger. So bombs are basically very dangerous. So this may kill us on the run. But let me explain anyway. There's a couple here. Perks stay with you each level. So every temple you get a perk to choose for the whole run. So for argument's sake, Vampirism, another very good perk. Vampirism takes a bit of your max health off. Max health is 100. I believe it takes it down to about 60 if you take this. But that allows you to heal by drinking pools of blood. So it can save your life. If you've also got the More Blood perk, which makes enemies drop more blood if they are blood based. So it can be a lifesaver, quite literally a lifesaver. It's a strat to take if you so desire. Critical hit plus, that gives you always extra crit chance. Now remember, dousing yourself in blood, where you've got the little red thing above your head, that also gives you extra crit. So you could be a crit machine if you took this. Again, you get different perks per temple. And I believe there's 8 temples, folks, is there? So you have 8 chances of perks. Not to get too far ahead, but there is a couple of bonus perks that you can pick up. One is called Extra Perk. That will make 4 perks appear. So you have more choice to pick. Bigger window shopping, so to speak. There is another one called Perk Lottery, where if you take it, it would be a little dice. If I pressed E to pick the dice, that's a 50-50 chance that the perks are either all going to disappear or you can keep pressing them. So you could technically grab all of the perks. Hello, Synthetic. I'm doing teaching at the moment. Welcome all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. No, not been going for 14 hours, mate. So perks are very good. For this run, I'm going to take Glass Cannon because I can't resist. If I die, you'll know why, because I've blown myself up with that 5x stronger perk. The only downside with Glass Cannon, it halves your health to 50. Even if you get maximum health upgrades, they don't work. You have to have 50. So this should be interesting going forward. I hope it hasn't compromised my learning here. I hope I won't kill myself. So we've comped our wands. We've got some good DPS here, especially now with Glass Cannon. So these base damage of these bouncers is free per projectile, bearing in mind. Look how many we're chucking out. And as well, they do bounce. So this is a lot of damage we're kicking out, as well as a blood crit above our head, which is also giving us extra crit chance. So we've got a lot of force behind us. So let me just make sure my water is full. 2 full flasks. So good stuff. Let us go. And we've got Chainsaw as well. Let me have a quick explain of why Chainsaw is on this wand. I believe, yes, it's got a minus recharge time, which basically means it's going to be constantly digging. It's very, dare I say, one of the top chainsaw wands that you can find. I have had a better one with a digging spell. There is a digging spell as well as chainsaw, so 2 digging spells are out there. So be careful of explosions with Glass Cannon. Folks, if you pick it, it has ended our life many a time. And by the way, for new players, when you exit a temple, it collapses. And it makes I'm just looking, it makes the rubble cursed. So if I start touching that fallen rubble, dangerous times ahead because it does do damage. Anyway, let us proceed down onto Biome 2. We are very lucky, again, I'm going to keep mentioning this, we're very lucky to have Chainsaw and Glass Cannon on this run. I'm so happy I have got this luck because it's very entertaining, not only for the people here live on Twitch, but for you. Because Chainsaw with Glass Cannon is going to make us dig really well. Oh my god. So we're going to be doing a lot of digging here because you see there's little gold veins here. We're going to dig through and grab the gold. We don't even need to kill enemies. We don't even need to engage enemies. And this chainsaw also acts as an offensive weapon. So we're going to be okay, folks, I reckon. Let me just have a look at this. Remember, pressing E on a wand pauses the game. This is a 2-caster, so that will cast 2 spells at once. These are... Remember Glass Cannon. That's going to be very deadly for us to use. So it's got a very crap recharge time as well. In my personal opinion, I don't like wands that have an over a second recharge time. Remember, recharge time is the time it takes for you to reload your wand, basically. It's a reload time. So a very fair wand, in actual fact. I'm going to replace that with 4. I'm not going to use it because it's probably going to kill us. If a worm or some big enemy shows up, use chainsaw. That could be entertaining, couldn't it? Right, anyway, so back to chainsawing. Now there's a bit of... well, it's not a discussion, it is a fact. Chainsawing straight into gold will destroy it. You sort of, ideally for maximum gold claiming, maximum gold digging, you ideally want to sort of make it dust, so dig around the outside of these gold in the terrain, so to speak, and it will become powder that you can collect. If you listen for the tinker, normally there's a little ching 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 sound. Let me try this here, yeah. So I'm trying to expose it because once it's exposed, it will go on the ground. But me personally, especially when I've got a great chainsaw and a great bit of glass cannon, I don't really bother, in all honesty, because it isn't that hard to just mash through stuff, you know. Right, chainsaw. Oh, you can I'm on fire. Right, water, water, water. Dousing yourself with your thing on the fly, trying to fly through while you're on fire, isn't very effective. You ideally need to bloody find a place to douse yourself in. Remember, anything that is above neck height will douse your flames. So do bear with me on this run. I've been ever so lucky to get glass cannon and a chainsaw. So I'm going to get a bit of gold. It might be the death of us, quite literally, getting too greedy. But it will help with my teaching purposes. I'll be able to afford wands and spells. So, and the name of the game, folks, in Noita. People ask, what's the point of this game? I don't, you know, is there a story? There isn't at the minute, but the whole point of the game, it's a roguelike. So you've just got to keep playing the game. You've got to get as far down as you can. There's a lot of players that join me on stream that haven't gotten to the end because it's so tough. And you've just got to roll with it, get better, get lucky with wands and perks, experiment. I've done runs where I've not killed a single enemy and gotten to the boss. There's many ways to skin a cat, so to speak. I'm grabbing the gold. You can see I'm exposing it and then walking into it, the surface particles, so to speak. It's very hard with a glass cannon chainsaw because it does so much damage. So we've got $500, and by the way, there is a very rare chance of finding a shop. You know, the shop in the temple? There's a very rare chance of finding a shop out in the open. I mean, it's rather rare. I think I've only seen it in 90 hours about 5 times in certain biomes. Biome 2 is kind of unforgiving because you have these magma flies which drop lava blood. Just beware of what you're standing on because there's a lot of tox. Remember. Oh, see, I've been toxed. Water negates tox, so you can dilute it with water. Find a little pocket of terrain like this to douse yourself. You can also pour your water on the ground like this. And it will... I'm not so sure about hilly terrain. Certainly for flat terrain, it will negate it for the most part. Just beware of what you're standing on. These purple guys, they have goo for blood, which goo slows you down. So again, beware. Be aware of what's above your head. That is your buff, basically. So I'm going to continue digging. We've got 22 health, which puts me in a bit of a tenuous position. Don't really want to die, me personally. I think we'll be okay, because I can take on most things here. Right, what do we got? A very fair wand again, minus spread. Acid trowel. Acid trowel. After the spell is cast, again we'll get to this, it will drop an acid trowel which burns down. Very handy in a pinch. So I'm tempted to just take that. I'm going to take that 100%. We're going to replace our default wand with the sparks. That's fine. So you can find wands if you're having runs where you're not killing enemies. You can be lucky and just find good ones with good spells, you know, because buying gets expensive. It really does. Which is why... and did you see that spark? An enemy has picked up a wand there. So I've got to be careful. Careful, careful. The name of the game is to just kill enemies. Be careful. I think I sustained a bit of damage now. I'm still sustaining. Interesting. So a bit of projectile damage there. Just going to grab a little bit of gold. Ideally... Right, hang on. Yes! Chainsaw Man. And remember, blood gives you crit chance as well. So just bear that in mind. Always bear in mind what you're doused in. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm digging down. I've got a very sort of safe wand composition here. We're in a bit of an impasse here. I should be able to take these lava guys out with relative ease. Because of my glass cannon. Remember, I'm doing so much damage because glass cannon gives us 5x damage. That's superb. Superb. And I think, if I'm not mistaken... Oh no, I am mistaken. Oh, and I've been toxed. Shit. Aye, 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 aye. Always have your water ready. Douse the stuff. If you're not sure of the ground, just be aware. Dropping down into areas that are new will be black, but as long as you can use your jetpack, your levitation, to manage your jetpack mana, whatever you want to call it. Careful of projectiles, by the way. Careful of what's above you. Runs can get very dicey when you're on low health. You become very cautious, and rightfully so, because you can run into enemies, shotgun enemies, that do a lot of damage to you. So I'm going to go into the temple and I'm going to explain what we've got here. So again, second temple, I'm going to fill up my liquids here. Remember, wait for the water to stop. Make sure you don't drown yourself with your O2 meter in the top right, because if you start drowning, you'll lose health. Just be careful. The 2 full flasks, let's refill our health and our spells. And... oh, this run. First run luck. Dear oh dear. Interesting, right. Interesting. Right, so some interesting spells here. Nuke with glass cannon will basically clear the whole map. Very tempting, isn't it? But we will be dead. Let us check for perks. It's always worthwhile checking out perks. Right. Let me explain. Trick Greed. Now, standard greed makes enemies drop more gold. I'm not sure on the actual number. I'm not entirely sure. Perhaps 2x? 4x? I'm not too sure. But Trick Greed, when you kill enemies by kicking stuff onto an enemy like a barrel, a minecart, if you can make icicles drop, anything that's environmental, you will get extra gold for that. This is tempting to take. I don't normally pick it, but remember what I said about that dice? It's here. Now, if I click this, if I select it, there's a 50-50 chance we will get the perk. So we'll have this 50-50 chance going forward for this run. But it also means I might not be able to get shield, which is very safe. It casts a permanent shield around you. In my opinion, it's very unreliable. but it can also save you a couple of hits. It doesn't vanish. It doesn't have a very good visual effect of what it's bouncing off. I'm not entirely sure, in all honesty, but a very good perk. Because it's so early in the run, I'm going to pick this. Yes. Okay. Nice gamble. Yes. That's how it goes, folks. Welcome, Spec. Thank you, YouTube, for recommending the video where Simo beat Noita, and hello, Flaming Panther. So we got very lucky there. Perk Lottery let us pick not only another perk, but it let us pick all of them. So it can be 50-50. It's RNG 50-50 luck. So very, very lucky. So we've got a permanent shield, Trick Greed. There's a chance to make some real money here. Shield is good except when a rocket is barreling towards you, and I think snipers can pierce the shield. Right, yeah, snipers are always pretty deadly, folks. Watch out for snipers. We will see them soon. So, some very, very, very inspiring spells here. Critical on burning enemies. Gunpowder Arc, interesting. We can technically afford everything. I am not taking Nuke. Nuke is tremendously deadly. It really breaks. Well, then again, I've got loads of money. And we could do it on the Vault, couldn't we? We could do it on the last biome if and only if we get Explosive Immunity, which is a perk. If we use this with Glass Cannon, we are dead. I'm going to buy it and we're going to examine here. Let's have a quick look. So remember, Glass Cannon does 5x on every damage thing. So projectile damage, explosive radius. So that's going to do, what's 250 times 5? I don't want to know. Basically, it's a map wiper. The damage potential with Burning Trout and Burning Quit and GC is quite crazy. Apparently the range is going to be 1250. For record, a standard bombs range with no glass cannon is 60. And this nuke with glass cannon, not including Bloodstain Crit and Berserkium, which does 2x the damage and radius. Big numbers being thrown about. This is why it is absolutely essential to get explosive protection, explosive immunity as a perk. We even think of using this because it destroys the map. We've got it though. Should we be lucky and make it to many temples and find explosive, we'll give it a try, but no promises. So, let us dive into how these projectile modifiers work. We're going to be finding triggers, we're going to be finding timers, and we're going to be doing projectile modifiers. Now, I don't really have a good... Well, I don't have any non-shuffle wands here. So for argument's sake, and it should be very clear to me, I've got one projectile. Now, on a non-shuffle wand, you want to put all modifiers first. I will explain the deeper we go with timers and stuff, but for now, all modifiers, anything that's a timer, modifier, etc. has to go first. Doesn't really matter with shuffle wands. This is a shuffle wand. But you can see I've taken off my bubbles, and you might think, why is that? That's basically going to go through that one spell and practically almost have this critical chance on burning enemies. So I think it's hard to see with glass cannon because glass cannon gives you like a red thing on your projectile trail. I think it should be a golden. It's very hard to see, but that should be proccing. That should be proccing our thing, and that's actually not doing us too many favours. Let me chuck them all back on. Very reasonable sustain. Bearing in mind this is going to critical damage. 100% crit chance as well. Anyone that's on fire is going to be dead basically. So very good to get that. Sorry, I'm just having a quick read here, folks. Do bear with me. Homing with Circular Vigor is a bad combo. Oh dear, life break, oh dear. Does any other wand have a slow recast? Loads. In this game, yes. Right, so I may even be so bold. Let me take these spells off. We got the acid trowel. Not going to demonstrate it here because it's deadly. I got rid of my sparks, didn't I? So I literally can't do it here, folks, but this will practically always have an acid trowel. On bouncing, I believe that's very deadly, actually, so I might hold off. Look at these bouncing projectiles. If there's acid bouncing around, that acid trowel's going to come back and hurt us. Not a good idea for now, so we'll leave that be. I'm going to take these off as well to keep for future use. So we're going to keep these ones blank for the moment because we're going to exchange them. A ninja star, often called, well, is called summoning disc projectile, shurikens, whatever they're called. Very good but very deadly, especially with glass cannon. These do 20 damage, standard. With glass cannon, it's an insta-kill, basically. Bearing in mind we've got 50 health, so... you should talk about spells that are safe versus unsafe to test in Temple. Yeah, folks. So, how do temples work? They're not entirely safe. Because if the temple gets damaged, for the most part, all explosive spells, like bombs, will not damage this rock. Acid will eat through it. Acid and black holes. If you've never heard of those before, fine, but if you've played this for a bit and you know what black hole is, black hole's basically a carving tool that will cut through any matter. If I was to fire black hole, that would make a tunnel through here, and then that would anger the gods, which basically spawn in almost indestructible enemies in this temple. And they're going to be very cross because they've got a shield, and they're not very fun to trifle with in a small space, so buyer beware. Like I said, bombs, firebolts, most of the magic missile stuff is fine. It's just acid and black hole. That's what you should really be careful of. But for the most part, you can fire stuff here safely to test your wands, test the recharge. Just be very careful of acid. If there's acid trowel, if you find a one that always casts acid trowel, just be ever so careful, folks. Be ever so careful. So yeah, and yeah. Oh, and another note. Just because you didn't damage the temple doesn't mean that's not going to anger the gods. Worms can be found. Worms cut through like a black hole. Doesn't matter what the terrain is, they will eat through it. And if a worm finds its way down here, if it starts making tunnels, you've angered the gods. So, RNG, folks, RNG. RNG. It's just the way she goes. And the same for if an enemy below in the next zone has picked up, for example, a black hole wand, and they shoot up through this bedrock here, through this temple rock, you get the blame as well. I'm really hoping this will be patched out. If you're watching this and it isn't the 4th of October 2019, and a couple of weeks in advance, if this has been patched out in modern versions, then ignore what I've just said. So we'll get to it, Synthetic. I'm being very nicely advised here in chat, so do bear with me, folks. Right, I think we are safe to proceed, so let us one final check. We're safe to proceed. Okay, let's get to it. Onto Snow Zone. Right, so we are proceeding on. We have got glass cannon. You won't get glass cannon every time, but this is a good run to demonstrate what this game has to offer. So we've got a great DPS. We've still got our chainsaw. And we're going good. We're going good. Thank you, Flaming. Anyway, let us proceed. Now, in particular, I'm currently rocking the beta build that has added safe zones to the snow zone and the next level. So this is very advantageous. Normally, or before, it was a flat platform. I'm hoping this is going to make it to a future release, or probably the existing version now. This level is full of snipers, it's full of turrets. I am ever so thankful we have got glass cannon, because it's going to make our life easier. What you've got to look out for here going forward are little blue skulls that shoot shit at you. And when you kill them, they release deadly freezing vapor. Avoid at all costs, because it damages your health. Even if you just touch it for a second, there goes your health. Just be careful. There are death squads here, squads of enemies that shoot guns that shoot far and can arc over distance. And again, snipers that do 25 damage if they hit you. You'll see red laser pointers here. I'm going to be ever so careful. I noticed one on the left somewhere. But thankfully glass cannon will hopefully save us just by pre-firing. The bouncing projectiles will do us... Ah, there's one of those skull boys, look. See that blue stuff there? If we get stuck in that, if we fly up into that, we're going to be... not in a good way. So Snow Zone is all about peeking, I would say. Use your peeking jetpack. Flying to a zone, fly down into an open area. Because you get squads of these guys. Very deadly, very deadly. Oh, and I forgot to mention, actually, a quick tip for flying. Now, you can fly with either the W key or space. Me, personally, I use space. Well, hang on. Engagements. Glass cannon. Nothing but a chicken wing there. But to save on your jetpack, which is your yellow bar in the top right, you can tap fly. Rather than just holding it willy-nilly, you can conserve just by tapping. So, a very handy tip there, folks. Right, so yeah, I could, because I've got glass cannon, well, I do have a digging wand actually, I could just cut through, but I'm going to demonstrate. Oh no, it doesn't work, okay. I'm going to create a firing, whoa, okay, careful. Oh, what a, no. I've just been one-hitted by a projectile there, how foolish of me. So you can see how deadly those guys can be as well. Bearing in mind we've only got 50 health, that was extremely unfortunate. So I'm now going to just pray that we get through this. That was extremely unfortunate. It's just the way it goes with glass cannon. So on Snow Zone, this is a bit of a deadly area. Do excuse me if I get a little bit excited because I don't want to lose this run. I'm going to engage this guy if I can safely. Use bouncing where possible. There we go. Check both ways. There are deadly turrets here. I might end up dying here, which I really don't want to. I'm going to be checking round corners. Use your jetpack bounce. Tap, tap. Because if there's a sniper, it will target you, so you'll know where they are to pre-fire. Just take your time. There is no time limit. There's no... It's not like FTL where something's going to chase you. It's fine to just turtle, so to speak. Or here we go. Here's an example of pre-firing, doing us the world of good. Death squads have a leader, which I call the goatee boy, who does fire really far-firing projectiles. I'm going to bounce away because things are getting a bit rough here. I'm going to be tunnelling, watching out for projectiles. Do bear with me. Sorry, it's not the most exciting to be a bit of a coward, but I don't want to lose this run. It's going ever so nicely here. There's a turret around. Down below. Now we should be able to get a safe defilade and shoot down. Turrets don't have a laser, they just fire willy-nilly. I believe I could perhaps safely come down into here. I think I might be O2'd because you can suffocate. Yes, I'm being suffocated. That's a wormhole, so a worm is knocking around here. I'm just digging, I'm ever so lucky to have a chainsaw to dig. Safe little pockets. I'm going to check this flask. The little pink glows is... Oh, it's lava. Okay. There's a death squad perusing around. Because I've got glass cannon, my digging chainsaw does ever so much damage. I think it may be safe to pass. Hold on. Be careful when digging of pockets of liquid. You don't want to drown yourself. I'm actually going to leak this and use it as temporary cover to pass through. Whoa! Careful of O2, folks. What is that? Ah, it's a non-shuffle, very average wand. I'm going to take that because it's non-shuffle. I haven't had a chance to... Oh no, I'm not going to... No, I'm going to leave it. We do not want to chainsaw that because we will blow the fuck up. Right, I'm going to chainsaw back down, folks. Sadly, I'm going to have to go all the way down to the temple. If I can make it safely. There's one good hit and I'm dead and I don't really want to die. Sadly, at the minute, I can't think of any learning tips other than just be careful, watch for snipers. Now, I could gamble and drop down and just pray that our digging spell does us proud, but I don't know what's down here. I'm going to have to fly down, pray that a random projectile doesn't hit us. Right, so there's rats. We should be fine. Oh! I've been bested by a rat. That's not good. Right. Oh, hello. Lots of water here. Watch for my O2 level. It's one of those eggy boys there. If you see... Whoa, careful, 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 careful. Make this wider. Make this liquid pool around us. Careful of me O2, folks. Do bear with me while I do this. Right, safe zone there. So we've got a nice little safe haven here for the most part. I'm going to use my momentum to drop down. Using your momentum to get into a pool is quite a good little tip. So watch this. Press E to keep. This wand is always casting explosive projectile. Causes projectiles to be more destructive to the environment. I did Superfly and I got very lucky with the perk lottery. We was able to pick all 3 perks. I'm going to take that because that looks very fun with Death Cross. And I wonder if that makes Death Cross do more damage to the environment, as this always casts things says. It's non-shuffle, it's got minus cast delay, so whatever it's going to have on it will be instant. Very slow recharge time, but we're going to take it because we don't really have anything else too interesting to replace. So bear with me here. I've got 9 health. I really, really, really don't want to lose here. I don't want to get killed. I don't want to be bested by a rat or a little shit enemy. So I'm going to turtle my way, dig my way to victory, so to speak. Making sure that no enemies can follow me. No enemies can get to me. Careful of that O2 Simo, for the love of Christ. And I could actually be so bold. I actually think this chainsaw will give me a temporary air pocket. I believe so. Dig to win. Yes, indeed, folks. I'm going to use this water as a weapon. When I get to the bottom, I can technically make a pool. Just going to wait for my jetpack juice to recharge. Hold on. Because I don't want to be low on that. I won't be able to swim back up. Right, here we go. So we've got a little bit of a drain going on. So that will very slowly drain out. Down below. Goodness knows what's below us. Careful of that water. The O2 levels. So a very slow drain here. Going down into the little area below us. Can't you dig a sideways S shape to create a pocket without water? Pocket without water. Not sure what you mean at the moment, mate. Right, so we've got some engagements down below. This water should provide a little bit of cover. I'm being ever so cautious. Normally I'm not this cautious, but I've got some great perks. I've got 9 health, so do bear with me. This is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be making fly decisions. Hello, Viliana, by the way. I'm doing a YouTube learning video here live, so do bear with me with the format. And I really hope this water's doing us proud, so to speak, because we are going to go and commit. There's enemies. They know we're here. 1 hit. We are worm food, thankfully. Watch out for that barrel. That could have ended in disaster. By the way, with glass cannon, projectiles in the environment do not scale up with your 5x damage, so... Right. I'm going to keep going with digging just for the moment. If we are waiting, ideally... Ah, there's a health up, health up, health up. Watch my O2. Excellent. Oh no, health up doesn't matter because glass cannon. It doesn't matter with glass cannon. Right, good sign. Good sign. That water has basically protected the portal. Enemies drown. We were very lucky to make that, to be honest with you. There we go. Oh my goodness me, that is my favourite spell, Lightning Bolt. Right, so we've made it through Snow Zone. This is where it gets hard, folks. Let me just check the perks. Yes. Ooh. Now, Repelling Cape. Repelling Cape can be good, but it can also be pretty useless. Because Repelling Cape, what it does, if you notice on the right, I am wet. Walking around, eventually gets rid of your stain, basically your effect, your buff. But Repelling Cape makes it so it practically instantly gets rid of it, no matter what it is. Wetness, tox, fire. I'm not so sure about fire. I'm still not sure. I don't think that works. It's literally stain effects. But that can be risky because blood for crits, extra critical chance while being coated in blood, is very useful in the game. The same for Berserkium that gives you 2x damage. So that means forget about blood crits if you have Repelling Cape. But if you also find invisibility, Repelling Cloak and invisibility practically means you're always invisible. So it depends on what you want to do for your run. Your mileage may vary. The next is Dissolving Powders, which I've never used it myself, but apparently stuff like coal, snow, gunpowder, sand, anything that's loose, anything you see granulating, you just walk through it like it's not there, and it makes it vanish. I haven't seen it in action, nor have I used it, but that's apparently what it does. This is my favourite perk. Perk lottery, baby. Homing makes your projectiles home. This is super OP. This is how runs have been won. Because the projectile, when there is an enemy, if it's a slow projectile or it stays active like these bounces, all of those residual bounces will home to an enemy. So a big lifesaver, a very big lifesaver. This isn't just hyperbole or because it's YouTube or because it's live on Twitch as well. Hello folks. It's extremely overpowered. We've got shield, we've got glass cannon, greed gold for loads of gold drops, homing. We are on for an interesting run. You can never use nuke now. Does homing work on bombs? I believe it does. I believe it does. So anything explosive while we don't have explosive immunity is very risky. But just be careful. All of your perks have pros and cons. But for now, I'm going to grab Lightning Bolt because that's my favourite perk. I'm going to ideally need explosive immunity and electric immunity before thinking of using that. And yeah, I believe, in all honesty, safely as well, this is all I can really use. I'm not going to have those on me. I'm going to get rid of the fire bombs. Fire bombs are really good, actually. Fire bombs, I'm not sure. I think they're bolts. I don't think they're explosions. I think they're safe to use. They're the things that the death squads use. I am going to test one. If it kills me, for science, you know not to use it with glass cannon. So for number 3, for the love of Christ, don't kill me. If you're wondering about bombs, now explosive stuff that can kill you via explosion, in my experience, should have a radius warning. Anything with radius means you can die by AoE. So this doesn't have it on. So I think it's safe. But you can get damaged by a fire. But number 3, let's give it a go. Ah, interesting. That might help us out, and I think these should home as well. I've got a few of those, so let's see what it's like. Interesting. Now remember, what have we got on our number 1? Critical on burning. So we have actually got a really dreamlike setup here. I'm so glad I'm doing this teaching run on this run. It's going rather spiffingly. So this is going to be very deadly for flames. I might get myself on fire, but I'm hoping it will home because it's slow moving. I've just got to be ever so careful because the next level is in close quarters. I'm going to take off these death crosses. We're not going to muck with those next. Sorry, yet. Just get rid of stuff I know I'm not going to use. Get rid of one of these. Okay. Is that a good wand? Oh no, we wanted to keep that, didn't we? Ah no, does more damage to the environment. Hold on. Also, didn't we have a triplicate double spellcast? No, we didn't. Okay, that's fine. Wasn't the recharge time crap? Yes, it was. So hold on. Number 4. That looks a bit dicey, doesn't it? Don't think we should have that there. As this is a cursory video for going through Noita, tips along the way on a standard run. We've gotten very lucky here, so I'm not spending too much time. This is not a serious run, but it's shaping up to be, isn't it? So we have got good DPS going forward. We've got... It's close. I almost used my bloody non-wand there. So we've got bouncing projectiles, homing projectiles, glass cannon, trick greed. So anything that gets blown up, I will profit from it. So, yes, I'm going to keep my number 4 wand. Now, if you remember, it's non-shuffle, and it always casts do extra damage to the environment. So, to be honest, this is a game-winning comp here. So, it's just a matter of getting through the levels now. So, things are going to be heating up. Heesy base is next. If you like the enemies from the last level, they're all back, but now they're in tight corridors. So check your flasks, folks. 100% full for water dousing. And onwards we go, praying that we don't get blown up because we're not safe from explosives. We're not safe from fire. So it's going to be cautious, even with glass cannon, folks. So do bear with me. Careful. Are they going to be explosives? Those things are taking damage. Don't know. Oh no, they're environment things. Right, I've got to be careful because these bouncing things obscure my vision in these tight corridors. So I'm going to be absolutely cautious as I can. Leaving perks behind hurts a little bit. It's only repelling cloak. I'm not too fussed with that. I'd rather have Berserkium and blood. And what was the other one? Dissolve through powders. I've heard bad things about that. I've never taken dissolve through powders. I'm not too fussed. Right, so the name of the game on Heesy Base. You can either go about it 2 ways. You can just roll with it, or you can dig down. But digging down leads to examples like this, where you can find some surprises. You might run into a turret that you can't engage very well. To be honest, I've been toxed, so remember, green is tox. Throw some water down, you'll be fine. So let's see what homing does. Is it homing? It should be. Whoa, that guy's got a wand. Hang on. Oh, have I got a flaming thing? Yes, I do. What was that? Number 3? Whoa. Oh no, there's a freezing vapor thing there. We've got to run. Watch out for those, folks. Freezing vapor is deadly, remember? There are lots of canisters with freezing vapor on. So there are many hazards down here. That guy's got a wand as well. It's a blood dousing wand. I think. What on earth is that? We're going to go and investigate, and I'm right next to a box here. Careful of bouncing stuff. Do excuse my going from Bob Ross to shouty man, but this is where the game gets real dicey. Incredibly dicey. The big ones are starting to be around. It can get real hot real fast, so I'll try and keep my teaching hat on where applicable. Chaos. Chaos is going to start ensuing. Right. Hey, there's one of those explosive things on here as well. Interesting. This is already a game-winning run. Yeah, quite honestly. Or to SIMOSIMO. Thank you, Muggins. Very kind there. So this is dicey, man. Bollocks. Now, you just saw that firebolt save our life back there. Those enemies were coated in oil. I used my initiative. I knew that I had a fire-causing thing there, and I've killed all those enemies. So, emergent gameplay. Many good experiences to do on the fly in Noita here, folks. That's got a very slow recharge time, but that could be our dousing wand. Now, no, don't get rid of the chainsaw. Vampires can't feed from blood mist because it only douses, it doesn't create pools, by the way. Eli Pop was just asking, could this benefit us if we had vampirism? If it made pools, if you could create your own blood pools, that would be super handy, but it doesn't. It only coats the floor in a single layer that can't be drunk from on the floor, if that makes sense. So, do I take this? Do I have a need to douse if I'm on fire? It could be very handy. I don't know what to take. Do I give up chainsaw? Chainsaw has saved our arse. I don't know, folks. Do bear with me while I deliberate. The deliberation going forward is going to be ever so long because we've got lots of heavy utility here. I am very tempted to take this. Just for... Yes, just take it. No, don't dilly-dally. Right, so the name of the game, ideally, is to get down. We came from this way, didn't we? No, we didn't. Yes, we did. No, we didn't. Yes, we did. Right. Use bounce. Glass cannon's going to save our arse. Just be careful of where those bounces go. If they have fire trail on, anything dodgy like poison trail, just be aware. And keep an eye on your water immunity as well. I was 28% there, 60. Any flames, that will protect us for a good bit of stepping over on flames. Try and grab the gold. I always miss the gold. I get a lot of YouTube comments saying that I miss gold. It's not on purpose. It's because I'm largely crapping myself on my runs. A very fair wand. In actual God. That is a very respectable wand. Falling objects already discussed. Yes, falling objects, folks. If you shoot icicles, break up ice, that counts as a trick kill. So anywhere you can use the environment, falling crates, falling minecarts, you're on for a good spell here. What is that? That is oil trail. I'm tempted to take that. Oh, thank you for the follow, Mandy. Welcome. I'm just doing some learning here, folks. I'm very tempted to take that. That's a very capable capacity shuffle wand with low cast, low recharge, great mana. So that could have some higher sustain going forward. Spells are not... I don't know what air does. I'm hoping in practice that would put out a fire. As much as I don't want to get rid of... In the next level, not to spoil, chainsaw is going to be very useful for our safety. Oh my lord, welcome to Noita. You're going to be doing this a lot as you get deeper. Wand deliberation, wand comping, wand planning. So I'm leaving these pauses in the video to really get in the mindset of what you're going to be experiencing going forward. Minus spread, by the way, means it will have no spread. It will be a sniper based on the projectile. Each spell has its own arcing, and there's certain modifiers that you can get to adjust them. Get rid of chainsaw. We're not going to need it in the second to last zone, and I don't think it's going to help us in the vault. Okay, bye chainsaw. Okay. Right, we've got enemies incoming, folks. 45 health. Oh no. Careful. Right, steady on. Right, covering fire. Letting homing do the work. Our shield should deflect most things. Again, I'm still not sure on what permanent shield really blocks, but it will block most things. There is a canister down below. I've got to be careful of that, because if that goes off, we're in trouble. So we're proceeding very cautiously. Down below, clearing that fog of war effect. There is a fella there. I've got to be careful because that goes around like a blue ass fly, and that will explode and that will release. That's probably it going now. We're going to have a huge cast of freezing vapor coming up. What way is it going to go? I don't know. Enemy separation here. There we go. Perfectly fine. Let me wait for that freezing vapor to clear. I don't want to fall down into it because that will damage us. Check for snipers. Remember, tap, levitate, folks. Tap, levitate. Enemies incoming. Just letting the bounce do the work for us. No need to rush in here. This is where the game really slows down for your own survival. Trust me. Getting those bounces to bounce through there. Homing is moving around. That should clear. A very cheeky way of doing it. Taking fire here from this position. Whoa! Wow! That was a dodge there of those rather damaging projectiles. So a lot of Rainbow Six pre-firing going on here. Death Squad incoming. That's fine. Glass cannon, bouncing and homing is really working for us here. Whoa! You just don't know what's coming at you in HC base. You've got to be careful. That's fine. All good. Keeping an eye on our water protection. Our blood. Remember, blood gives you extra crit chance. Just got to take your time, folks. The key to success. Someone asked on Reddit. They said they've been watching my streams. They don't know how to get better. You just have to be aware. Look out ahead. Check for enemy types. Watch out for environment hazards such as crates. Where possible. If you can kick them down into somewhere safe, happy days. Oh, there we go. If you can get stuff bouncing, I'm toxed on the floor and above our head with the water flask. Hold down right click. Just be aware. Death Squad incoming. Come on, bounce. Do us proud. Grab the gold as well. So I could buy it in all essence. Safely destroy that. So we're going. It's going well. Clear that stuff. Just be careful of the flames, the residual flames and stuff. Right. We should. I don't think this cuts through, even with glass cannon. No, it doesn't. Whoa! Enemies incoming. Just get bounce working. It's a little bit cheap bounce, but hey man, it's going to lead us to victory. Situational awareness, yes indeed. Do I go right? I'm thinking so. Right, I'm going to blow that big crate there because those do eventually blow up. Probably create a lot of fire. So just put some water down. I should be able to safely proceed here. Pre-firing, pre-firing. Get the bounce working for us. Whoa, sniper there. Whoa, right. Right, and now we've got some lava. Now you might be thinking, oh fucking hell. But I'm just going to wait for this fire to clear. Because it's going to maybe even douse some water here. I've got 2 flasks. I should be relatively safe. And I am 33%, 55 wet. Water, when cast on lava, does create a bridge. So that's fine. That's fine. Ah, it's a dead end. Yikes. Okay, we've got to backtrack because we don't have any digging implements. If we had the chainsaw still, I could have dug through there, so... and again, with glass cannon, normally for digging through, using the default bomb is very useful, but with glass cannon, that's going to make it 5 times wider. Shit, I've got no way to get through. I'm tempted to go and get that chainsaw back. Much as I hate backtracking, we're literally going to need it, and it is very OP to have chainsaw. So sorry, dowsing wand. I think we're fine with 2 water flasks, in all honesty. It's far too useful. Actually, no. Get rid of that one. Because we've got the spell, the damage the environment spell modifier on this wand. Explosive projectile. We're keeping that in mind. We're saving that for when and if we get explosive immunity. So never think you're safe. Even though I've cleared this area, doesn't mean I'm safe. So I'm going to proceed back down. Hopefully cut through to somewhere hopefully near a temple. I would like to imagine. Chainsaw this enemy. No. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Right, hang on. Oh, we're by a temple, folks. So hopefully we're in the clear. And again, never assume. Covering fire, covering fire. If I look like I'm a little bit tense, it's because I am. We're entering the end game here, folks. We've got 3 more biomes to do and then the boss, so... And I can hear rumbling, which could either be a worm. Remember what worms do, they anger the gods, so... I'm going to be as quick as I can here in the wand comp stage. Check the perks, pray for fire or explosive immunity. Oh, no, electric without foul, because... Again, this could be dangerous in the level after the next, but it's also very useful for me. Because that not only does that stop us from getting electrified, it makes all liquids, any liquid you're in, a deadly weapon, should enemies fall in. Any liquid, no matter what it is. Right, so, wand comp time. So, air. What the fucking hell does that do? Do bear with me, we are deliberating on the wands now. So I'm gonna simply get rid of things now. I'm gonna replace those fireworks. They've got a radius on, so they will literally damage us. Until we get explosive immunity, I'd rather have Death Cross than these. So to save space, they are going. And I'm gonna take all of this stuff back. I don't think I'm gonna need recoil. It's too... It could be used in some whatever way, but there's just no point. Until we get explosive immunity and stuff, I don't want to be too adventurous. So, I've got a wind wand, a farty wand. You would think that puts fire out? I've no idea. Brittle flow of air, capable of greatly moving things. In all honesty, I've no unearthly idea. Could be handy for fire away, I don't know. Blowing the fire. I've simply no unearthly idea. We're not going to be using necromancy, sorry, because we have got homing on at the minute. My homing projectiles home to your necromanced friendlies, so we're not going to be doing that. Lantern or spells in the water. Ah, yes. And hello, Mr. Maverick. I'm just doing a bit of a tutorial run here for the moment, so apologies for not much chat engagement. I'm doing a video for YouTube after the fact. Okay. Interesting. Is that going to be useful though? I don't know as if it is, in all honesty. And number 3 now, if I'm on fire, what I can do, let me just check there's not an auto cast on here. If I'm on fire, I can douse myself, and this cloud also acts as a killing field. If anything's close, I've got how many shots? I've got 40 uses of this, so a toxic electric cloud for the enemy, basically, that will also stop me being on fire. Tactical. Very tactical, and also good for pacifist runs as well, as that will count as an environment kill. Right. Till we get explosion immunity, I think I'm going to roll with this. Does the wind have a negative or positive cooldown? It's got plus cast delay, -1 spread. Speed is 400, whatever that means. I guess that if we want to knock stuff over. Could be rather interesting. We go for a mug of tea, no milk, so I need a mango chai. Ooh. I'm going to roll with this, folks, to not keep this going too long. And someone asked, what do dormant crystals do? They are basically mines. If you place them down, they will need another explosion to trigger. So, for those pyromaniacs among us, could be pretty useful. There's also a rain cloud here, which will spawn a cloud of water. But to be honest, we've got our dousing blood. Remember, blood gives us extra crit chance, so we don't really need it in all honesty. Circle of stillness will... Anything that walks into the circle will be frozen. Again, something very useful. In actual fact, quite tempting to take for the next area. Oh, and actually, just to test out, My favourite spell. I've got to be careful, but I am going to get rid of a Death Cross. Sorry, Death Cross. Sorry, Death Cross. As much as I love you. Number 4. I've got electric immunity, so I won't get killed by this, thankfully, but this is a very cool wand. Especially with glass cannon. Now, that is technically an explosion that isn't damaging us, so it could be deadly. Very deadly. Until I get explosion radius, I am not going to be taking it, but it's my favourite spell. Very lucky to see it. Okay, right, we're heading now into the jungle, which is, in my opinion, not that hard. Oh, sorry, we've got perk lottery working for us here, so more blood. Nice. So that means more chance to get blood crits, basically. If I had vampirism that I don't, I might get vampirism on the next level. But that means we could start drinking blood, because there would be a lot of it with more blood perk active. And you could repair your health points, so very cool. Whoa. So the jungle is full of interesting enemies, I will say that much. There is a lot of gold there, so get some water on. I should be able to get that quickly. Oh, quick, quick, quick. Got as much as I could. Health up ain't going to count because we've got glass cannon. Remember, we're capped at 50, regardless of health ups. Right. Do you like spiders? Do I have anything else offensive? No, I don't. Number 4. That's doing 6 damage. Whoa, there's a teleporting wizard there. I think that might be the polymorph guy or the teleport guy. I'm not sure. Careful, by the way. Oh, shit, I didn't refill my flasks. Not the end of the world. Right, pool of water for me to stand in. Just cover fire, to be honest. Homing will do the work here for the most part. You can see it active. You can see homing coming back, getting into those enemies, doing the damage. Not much, but it's doing some. In actual fact, let me crit myself. Whoa, careful. Tap, tap, tap while I'm in the air. If I had strong levitation... Whoa, hang on. If I had strong levitation, that would be really useful, but I don't. So I could practically hover around endlessly. And that's the same for low gravity. That's also good for levitation management. Okay, okay, okay. Fungal caverns, whoa. Fungal caverns, man. Have I been poisoned? Oh, thank you for the reminder there. So number 3 we're going to need instantly. Thank you for that. I wasn't noticing that with 33 health. Watch out for poison, folks, on this biome too. Wow, look at that. Hang on. There is a wand down there. I'm going to use my full levitation to get right down. Respectable stuff here. There's a digging spell. Hello, Jack, mate. Hello, Jack. Nothing there that's tickling my fancy. I've already got chainsaw. Oh, wow. This is so deadly with electricity. I suppose I could fill my flask, couldn't I? Let's have a good old fill with electric water. Shockingly delicious, you could say. This looks so deadly, doesn't it? Holy smokes. Right, is that full? Let's just top up both. Righty-ho. Let's go. Let me get my blood crit on. Get some bounce going, everyone. Get some bounce going. There's a heavy bit of simulation happening. A bit of CPU chuggery, I feel. Just be careful going forward. There is a lot of enemies here. Does the right column fill again? Right column as in... Sorry, what is that? Sorry. Enemies inbound. Watch for mana recharge on your wand. There's a bit of gold down, a bit of fire, and the death squad incoming. A bootleg death squad, so homing. Do us proud. Home, home, home. Whoa, and there is a spider, everyone. Bit of crit juice here. Nice. Glass cannon, everyone. Saved by the glass cannon. Home, home, home. Do us proud. Happy days. Watch what you're standing on in this biome. There's poison. There's this, there's that. There's this, there's that. Fire igniting acid clouds. Just be on your guard. Crit juice, sorry. Blood. Blood gives you an extra crit chance. I just call it crit juice because that's what it does. I shouldn't even be bothering engaging here. Although there's a bit of gold to be had. Let's go down. Thank you all for joining me on this learning stream, this learning run. We will do some passive runs after this. Ooh, right. This is just for players that aren't sure of what Noita really does. Beginner tips. I feel we're far past beginner tips though. We're getting real deep in this run. I wasn't expecting to get as far as this with glass cannon, bouncing projectiles. Yeah, we've done it. A sneaker. Speaking of sneaking, thank you for the follow. Whew, another good little run there, folks. We are being absolutely lucky with this. Big style luck. Nothing there that tickles my fancy, but we might get explosive immunity. This run was made for me, wasn't it? Oh my god. Edit ones anywhere, folks. You know what that means? That has to be taken. Edit ones anywhere means you can edit ones outside of the temple, which is... And perk lottery is also doing us very well. Low gravity. Now, low gravity makes you low grav. I'm used to the muscle memory of the controls of this game. It could help us out if we come into some bother running out of jetpack juice. Not sure how low gravity affects homing projectiles though. I'm not the most experienced with low grav. I've only taken it once in 90 plus hours. Is it worth taking for this run? I don't want to compromise it. Do you know if each level has a fixed amount of enemies? To be honest, Steve, I don't know. I know on the snow level in Hisi base, you know the death squads, the goat guy and the little soldiers that follow him? I don't know when he spawns those little guys, but I think when he takes damage, he spawns more. I'm not sure of what it is, but in terms of the actual enemies, on the second biome there's a nest of wasps that will keep spawning wasps, and also on that same biome there's a big purple boy that spawns the little purple boys. So, and a couple of others, I believe the acid guy spawns the little guys, I'm not sure. So there's some mob spawning active basically, but other than that I think it's standard per level, and we're saying no to low gravity. Electric immunity, does that stack with what I've got already, or does it not matter? Right, there's nothing here that I need to take, in my opinion. There's a firebolt trigger that we could use dangerously. No, don't even think about it. We're just gonna go. Yeah, I think we're just gonna bounce because we don't have explosion immunity, so we can't get too creative. We're just gonna pray that we get as far as we can. And just another reminder. If you are paused, if you're not paused in the temple, you open yourself up to random damaging of the temple from worms or gods below you. Or sorry, enemies with wands that may have black hole on. Just, if you're going to be away, you're thinking of stuff, just keep pausing the game. Because it pauses the game, doesn't it? So, a good tip. Believe me, it makes the homing more reliable. Are you sure, Passy? I mean, it's going to be useful for the base because we're going to be doing a lot of hovering, I will say that much. But we do have edit wands anywhere. Emergency nuke. I guess I might as well take electric immunity because it's there. No damage from electric shocks. Oh, is that all the... So the electric mage guy, his bloody one-hit explosion thing, would we not die from that? No, I think it is just electric shocks. Okay. Right, let's get to it then. So I've got low grav. We're on for a rather tremendous run here, folks. FYI. So just cover fire. No need to rush. I've got low grav. I can do this till the end of time. This is a very, very tough zone. Wow, look at these guys. Look at these guys. How much health do you need? Whoa, hang on. What's going on? Come on. Mate, dicey as fuck. Very dicey, man. Not what I want to be seeing at this far and late in the game, and that's just a trash mob. Interesting. Let me just... That's a sign of things to come, by the way, out of interest. So this is the vault, I would say the hardest biome, because it's full of big OP enemies. It's about to get tricky. But we do have low grav, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that homing's going to work for us tremendously. Oh, I need to blood myself. Number 4. That's it, that works fine. Wow, watch out for that acid. Holy smokes, that's better. It's working for us spectacularly. Careful now. Just taking my time. It's about to get extremely cautious now. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Just go. Right, blood, gold. Can we get through there? Can we sneak through? Yes, we can. Right, it's one of those boys again. This is not the place I want to find myself with an acidy shooter. Whoa, hang on, hang on, hang on. Blimey, that's a lot of gold. That is a lot of gold. Come on, low grav, do us proud. Oh, someone above me, isn't there? I see ya, I see ya. Oh no, I'm on fire. There we go, that's why we got the dousing thing there. Oh, that's not working as intended. Yes, it is. Oh, Mr. Dirty Tentacle here. Get bouncing, man, get bouncing. It's not doing the best damage. 11 health. This is where things get a bit tenuous now. Unfortunately, it's the way it goes. You just get bamboozled. Number 4, is that going to blow stuff away? Chaos and greed. That is a big downfall. Right. So, we are now practically immune to tox, to be honest, because we've got 10 health. I think the official number for sustaining tox damage over time takes you down to about 10 or 9. So it's going to make this run incredibly turtly. But at the same time, I don't want to lose to getting one-hitted. So like this, I've got to just bide my time. Pray that I don't do something stupid. Keep up the bounce. I think there's a spawning one of those acidy boys down there, hence why those things keep coming up. So I'm gonna be careful, pre-fire yet again. Look out for things taking damage above me and below me. Make sure I don't get snuck up on. Bounce, bounce, baby, bounce. So we've got fire, we've got chaos. We've got stuff down here as well, so careful, careful, careful. Oh no, we're safe. I could technically dig down. I don't know if there's acid rock here though, that's the only trouble. That could be really disastrous for us. There's one of those robot electric boys down there who are rather deadly. Something that I don't really want to take on with 11 health. Case in point. Whoa, something's just been blown up. Massive. Oh no, a worm has tackled a temple, folks. I've got 2 health. Something hit me off screen. This is where things get terribly dicey. Come on, come on, come on. Maybe someone took the nuke wand, possibly. That felt like a big old bump. Watch out above us. This is where things... Yeah, that thing is coming. That blue projectile. One hit and I'm dead, folks. I am making the game ever so slow with all of this physical simulation. I can't really see what's coming and going. So do bear with me. This is where the teaching tutorial comes off and where my fight or flight response kicks in, because we have done ever so well here. I do not want to die from something cheap. So I've got a pre-plan. I've got to watch for acid. I don't know what that's kicking out. There is something down that way. It's like a robot enemy. It's very deadly. What is that? Slime. Whoa. Gonna just pray that something doesn't just take us out, because that would be such a shame. Right, careful, careful. This could be dicey. Fuck. These guys take a bit of damage, don't they? They've got their tentacles, so hang on. This is where your multiple decisions come in. Something's blowing me around here. Whoa. No, 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 no. Whoa. Fire kicking off here. Just bloody spray and pray, mate. Just spray and pray. Watch for flames. One bit of flame and I'm dead. I don't have... I might have to water myself here. Hang on. Just for fire resist. I'd rather have that than blood crits. Crit chance, sorry. So go this way. This seems to be the safer way to go. Watch out for the tox. Wow, that is a lot of gold. I think there's acid in it though. Enemy down there. Do bear with me, folks. It's about to kick off big time. Oh no, multiple enemies. Multiple robo shield enemies. I don't think he's seen us. Oh my god, this could be where it ends, sadly. I don't want to say, for better or worse, but these guys take a lot, number 3, of health to kill. I'm gonna really, really, really pray. Oh. Just didn't have the DPS sustain. Unfortunate. F to pay respects, folks. Oh, mate. And that is an example of a rather good run. A rather good run going forward, folks. I hope that this video has had a lot of tips. And for those that have joined us, I am doing that whole run was a learning experience. I explained everything as I went. And yeah, I hope that was helpful for you. There's many ways to skin a cat in this game. Remember your water flasks. Top up your water flasks. You can instantly drink your flasks by bringing up your inventory and right clicking. That will empty it. Just be careful if it's oil or something toxic that will damage you. So please don't actually skin a cat. But yeah, that's just covering the basics. I've not even covered overworld exploration, polymorph potions to get into secret places. That's just the basic how-to, what my thought process is. We got very far, what perks are what, and there we go. There we go. I hope that helped. And anyway, thank you for watching. All the best.